When a game with a lot of time, effort, and resources, be it human or money, invested in it, that it actually way more than the output of number of players playing the game on the launch day, normally we call that a flop. And hello there, Ame Gakita there. So obviously today we are going to talk about some game that got a huge launch on stream, which they initially claimed they are not going to do so, and now launching it and failing catastrophic in JT Sunwood. So obviously we are talking about Star Wars Outlaw, and initially Ubisoft claimed that they're only going to release it on their own platform, which means that there is no one going to play the game from any other platform, be it like so-called stream, which is the most player piece for PC players. So the thing is, right, when you have a platform, normally you want to launch on a platform where there is a lot of player base. But most of the thing is, right, at this point of time, it's really kind of like they should just stick to their gun and don't even launch in the first place. So they decided to out of nowhere say that, hey, you know what, we're gonna launch it in PC. And the thing is, right, there's really like a lot of review about the game throughout, be it on their own platform or a console version, and obviously a lot of people aren't happy about it, considering that there is a lot of bug on a game that is released, as well as there is also questionable in gameplay, questionable storyline along the line. So it was like, in what many people say, a game that is considered not bad. But the thing is, right, when a game is considered not bad, you will have to ask yourself, do you want to spend $50 to $100 on a game that is considered not bad? Obviously, a lot of people will be like, yeah, no. So they got on the launch time, and the number is really like, it's ridiculously low. Around 1,000 at 1,000 plus when we will talk about it, because when GT Sun kind of saw it, it's like, yeah, at the time it was like up to 603. Yeah, when you kind of like on the time on this launch, within that period is like this low. Yeah, that seems to tell a lot of story, right? But then again, you can't really like blame the game in a way, because there's really other people probably got the game on the Ubisoft subscription. Some people got it console already, so when they really play on that play, obviously when the game is not considered a success, people won't think of getting the game again. So it's like, yeah, enough is enough. No one is going to play on the PC at this point of time. More so when a majority of the PC player are actually quite picky about the game they play at this point of time. So the thing is, it's kind of interesting that the game itself, regardless of the flop on console or their subscription, and now on the launch day itself, they got nominated for the best action or adventure game at the Games Award, which I kind of like highlight that, yeah, the Game Award seems to be rigged from the start, considering that the so-called people who put up the list also kind of like have their own judge, and the judge, a lot of them are so-called the DEI whatsoever. So when the game lists like the best adventure, the best action game, right, there is like so many other games that deserve to be in that normal list. One of them, definitely a lot of people will say like, yeah, I thought the game list is basically for a game that is new. Maybe if they say like it has to be a new game, but to me, Genshin Impact or Warframe Waves should be in the list as well. I mean, like, they are technically action games, so I don't understand like why those two games is not in here. So in a way, I would definitely say the innovation is kind of like ripped from the get-go. I might be wrong on my end, but when you got a lot of people talking about it, yeah, the list itself is probably ripped from the start, right? So the thing is, right, at the end of the day, when the game, as Hillson later on report, is like reached up to around 1,636 players at around that player. So let's give it like 1 to 2,000 player base. But even so, when you have around that amount of player base, and and even if we add in like subscription count or console count, it still doesn't seem to indicate that there is a lot of player on at this point of time, considering that this is a game that is technically under Disney. Star Wars itself, the franchise is under Disney. As well as that, the problem is that it is done by Ubisoft, which a lot of people always call it Ubislop at this moment of time. But whether is it Ubislop or Ubisflop, it's really kind of like you can't really blame Disney for going out with it, because Disney itself is like they are also embracing DEI, and Ubisoft is also embracing DEI. So when you have like two companies embracing DEI, yeah, probably they like in what most oversimplified love to kiss each other along the line. But then again, joke aside, it's really kind of like better question, like is it really worth supporting Disney or Ubisoft at this point of time when a lot of game is that is like release is considered so-called not bad. Sure, some people will say that if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, if you're a person who like a normal action game, yeah, I would say it's considered a not bad game. But when there's a lot of people don't like getting it, or the launch itself is also not much player, it does seem to tell you that is the game really worth it. To me, I wouldn't say yes though. It's hard to say yes at this point in time. I would definitely say no. If the player count got around 5-6 digit of player base on the launch day, yeah, I would say yeah, there's the fighting chance. But when you can't even reach beyond a 5-digit player base, that seems to tell a lot of story, right? So the thing is, right, at the end of the day, Ubisoft itself, they call it a AAA game. They call it like a game that they're going to be going with the idea that, hey, we got a lot of time invested in the game, we got a lot of effort put into the game, we got a lot of resources, be it human or money in the game, because they got a lot of people going with creating this game. There's a lot of money being invested into this game, so obviously you would want that those who invested in this game to have a good payout. But the thing is, right, when you see this amount, it's not a lot. Even if they say they only like get around 1 million copies sold in other platforms along the line, other than stream, yeah, if you want to really like say that release the game on stream and you're hoping for at least 6-digit number at this point in time, it just seems impossible. Considering, like I mentioned again, there's already people putting out review about the game. There's a lot of people saying like it's a not bad game. If a game is considered good, at least not considered like average 5 or 6, I would say a lot of people will consider buying this game and give it a try, even if the game is on discount. They apparently put up this game at 25% discount, which kind of like rubbed some people the wrong way apparently. But even that doesn't help. I think that at this point of time they should at least release the game at 75% discount, because it is not going to help them even if they are going to admit it or not. So at the end of the day, it really does showcase that the game is really not worth it. And when you kind of look at the CEO talking about it's the gamer issue, he talked about how it's like the gamer is having a lot of like bashing on DEI or whatsoever along the line. It's kind of like really back to the question, like it's not really like gamer is wanting to hate on the game. It's about the game. When you say you put in a lot of time, you put in a lot of effort, you put in a lot of human resource into the game. Let's remove the money resources out of the equation. When you have so many people working on the game and they want to call it the AAA game, normally when a AAA game, it can cost up to a few $1 million. That's why I don't want to put that into perspective. But even so, when you have so much people investing into the game, the question is like, why does the game have a lot of bugs? Did they not hire like bug tester, or that's basically their game? Like there's a reason why there's always like game tester or bug debug tester, is that they are their job in a way to test out and try out weird stuff in the game to see what went wrong. When you ask your own employees to do those kind of jobs, they know what is the game about, they know what is the thing they need to do in the game, and they will do those things, and obviously they won't see the issue. But when it came to actual bug testing, that's where a lot of things went south, and a lot of game companies that I see nowadays don't invest in those things. And more so is that's the reason why a lot of game, especially like so-called AAA game, got a lot of bug issue, a lot of problem game in the game itself. And it can't get, the problem is like they never even properly put in effort in this game. So the thing is, right, sure, some people may like the game, but when you kind of like got so many issues with the game, you can't deny that the game itself had a lot of problems from the get-go. And yet you attacking gamers who are trying to give you the benefit of doubt. Like even I myself always give people the benefit of doubt, unless the person is really not deserving of it. Then I will give another take. The thing is, right, Ubisoft really flopped all throughout to the point that the next game they are going to release is apparently Assassin's Creed. And the thing is, right, with the huge flop for the Disney Star Wars Outlaw, it really kind of like beg the question: will Assassin's Creed Shadow be released first, or will Ubisoft declare bankruptcy first? It's really going to beg that question now. But then again, that's not really the only game company that is really like flopping at the moment. Considering that again, I mentioned like there is also other game like Starfield Scatter Place, which got a lot of people talking about it, as well as another game, Horizon Adventure Lego, which also a lot of people claim the game to be like the gameplay seems to be for young children, but the story is meant for adult. Which really begs the question is like, who is their target audience? So the thing is, right, a lot of game nowadays is really like kind of like flopping over a lot of things, and I kind of like mentioned this in one of my video, like why I love playing Nikke. It's really kind of like made me really wonder, right? A lot of game is really lacking in those aspects. So when you look at a successful game, it's really like a point of like, is the character look good? When a lot of game character doesn't look good at this point of time, even like the Star Wars itself when they released the game, right? Like even if they still call it like the best action game, when the character, a lot of them look very questionable, like female with big cheek. Are you modeling that over a man along the line, or are you on the point that there is also bug on the game itself, and instead of like pausing the game and solving it, they just kind of like say that, hey, we're gonna release a new patch and just do the whole issue, and you just bear with it along the line. Or maybe in some cases there are cases where, oh, you know what, you need to repatch it and then your save file is gonna be deleted. Yeah, it happened. So the thing is, right, at the end of the day, it got a lot of people pissed off. It got a lot of people not liking the game. Obviously, it did not sit well with many gamers. It did not sit well with many people. So what is the best way to go? Don't buy the game. That's what they want, right? But again, at the end of the day, when you have a lot of game at this point of time that is invested way beyond the player count base, when the CEO don't even understand this sort of graph, what is the player want, it just shows how out of touch those people at the higher up is, and yet the one that is laid off is not them. Like seriously, when a game flop, this is not the guy to get kicked out. You know, the one that is kicking out is those working on the game. But that will be leave for another random chat. But then again, it's really kind of like no point to drag on this random chat for me, because it's just getting me more and more tired talking about this sort of slop game being released, and the one that is suffering is just basically people who is trying to create a good game. But again, at the end of the day, it's still my speculative thought. It's just a random chat. Whether you agree or disagree, or whether you have your own point of view, just write in the comment section, we can discuss it further. But if not, all the video that I mentioned, or all the video that you see on the screen, yeah, I will link all of them individually to them in the description below. So do check out JT-san, Hill-san, and Red-san video. They do cover a lot more than me. So that being said, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or random at a time. But the one thing I hope is not random for you guys is have a nice day or night. Bye.